recall my boobs being this big. Like, they are really
Mine
heavy.
either.
Title: The Silence That Shook the Family. Matt's secret pregnancy revelation on 90-Day Fiancé. In the emotionally charged, high-stakes world of 90-Day Fiancé, secrets don't stay buried for long, especially when cameras are rolling, emotions are raw, and families are involved. But one of the most jaw-dropping moments in recent seasons came not from a dramatic airport reunion or a visa denial, but from silence. Matt, a seemingly grounded and family-oriented American man, made a decision that would ripple through his relationships like a shockwave. He never told his family that Jasmine, his foreign fiancée, was pregnant. It wasn't a minor oversight. It wasn't a "I'll tell them next week" kind of delay. This was a full-term secret, carried quietly while Jasmine's belly grew, while doctor's appointments were scheduled, while baby names were whispered in private, and while Matt's own parents, siblings, and extended relatives remained completely in the dark. To understand the gravity of Matt's silence, you have to understand who Matt presented himself to be. On camera, he came across as responsible, communicative, even cautious. He spoke often about doing things the right way, about honoring his family's values, about building a stable foundation for his future with Jasmine. He consulted his parents about wedding plans. He invited them over for dinners. He included them in conversations about housing, finances, and cultural adjustments. He gave every impression that he was transparent, that nothing major was being hidden. Which makes his decision not to disclose Jasmine's pregnancy all the more baffling and, to many viewers, unforgivable. Why didn't he tell them? There was no single explosive reason revealed on screen, no dramatic confrontation where Matt finally breaks down and confesses his motive. Instead, viewers were left to piece together the psychology behind his silence from subtle clues, tense glances, and the slow unraveling of tension as Jasmine's due date approached. Perhaps it was fear. Matt's family, while loving, appeared traditional. They had expectations. They asked questions. They weren't shy about voicing opinions, especially when it came to life-altering decisions. Maybe Matt feared their reaction. Maybe he worried they'd see the pregnancy as rushing things, as proof that he and Jasmine weren't thinking clearly. Maybe he thought they'd question Jasmine's motives, unfairly, perhaps, but a concern that lingers in many cross-cultural relationships on the show. Or maybe it was control. Matt seemed to want to manage the narrative, to present things on his own timeline, in his own way. Telling his family about the baby would mean relinquishing control of the story. It would mean weathering their questions, their advice, their anxieties. It would mean letting them into a sacred, intimate part of his and Jasmine's journey, and Matt, for reasons still unclear, wasn't ready to do that. Then there's Jasmine's perspective. While Matt remained silent, Jasmine was living in the physical reality of pregnancy, morning sickness, swollen feet, midnight cravings, the emotional roller coaster of impending motherhood. She was the one attending prenatal appointments alone or with friends, feeling every kick, every flutter, every contraction. And through it all, she had to pretend, at family gatherings, at holiday dinners, during casual phone calls, that nothing was different. It's hard to imagine the emotional toll that took. In one particularly heartbreaking scene, Jasmine is seen shopping for baby clothes with a friend, whispering about how surreal it feels to be preparing for a child while her future in-laws don't even know she's expecting. "They think we're just planning a wedding," she says, forcing a smile. "They have no idea our whole life is changing." The secrecy also created distance between Jasmine and Matt's family, a distance that may never fully heal. When the truth finally came out, not through a heartfelt family meeting, but through accidental slips, overheard conversations, and finally, undeniable visual evidence, the fallout was immediate and brutal. Matt's mother cried. His father sat in stunned silence. His sister looked betrayed. "How could you not tell us?" his mother asked, voice trembling. "This is your child. Our grandchild. We're supposed to be part of this." Matt, for his part, offered weak explanations. "I wanted to wait until things were more certain. I didn't want to overwhelm you. I thought I was protecting Jasmine." None of it landed. His family wasn't asking for perfection. They were asking for honesty. For inclusion. for the chance to celebrate, to support, to prepare. The silence, in the end, spoke louder than any excuse ever could. What makes this storyline so compelling and so painful is that it's not just about a TV moment. It's about real human dynamics, the fear of judgment, the desire for control, the weight of expectation, the cost of secrecy. It's about how one decision, to withhold something so monumental, can fracture trust, strain relationships, and leave emotional scars that linger long after the cameras stop rolling. Even after the baby arrived, healthy, beautiful, a living, breathing symbol of love and new beginnings, the shadow of Matt's silence remained. Family visits were tense. Conversations were guarded. Smiles didn't quite reach the eyes. The joy of a new grandchild was tinged with the bitterness of exclusion. Jasmine, to her credit, handled it with grace. She didn't lash out. She didn't use the baby as leverage. She focused on healing, on bonding, on building her own family unit, even as she quietly mourned the support system she should have had from day one. As for Matt, he seemed to realize too late the damage he'd done. In confessional interviews, he admitted he messed up. He said he didn't think it through. He promised to do better. But apologies don't erase history. Promises don't rebuild trust overnight. The story of Matt and Jasmine and the secret pregnancy he kept from his family serves as a powerful reminder. In relationships, especially those under the pressure of cultural differences, immigration stress, and reality TV scrutiny, transparency isn't optional. It's essential. Secrets, no matter how well-intentioned, have a way of corroding the very foundations they're meant to protect. And sometimes, the most damaging betrayals aren't lies, they're silences. In the end, Jasmine got her happy ending, a healthy baby, a partner who eventually stepped up, and a future full of possibility. But the cost was high. And Matt's family? They got a grandchild, but they also got a lesson in how quickly love can turn to hurt when honesty is withheld. The cameras may have stopped rolling, but the conversation about trust, communication, and the weight of silence is just beginning. And for viewers, it's yet another reason why 90 Day Fiancé remains one of the most emotionally complex, psychologically revealing reality shows on television. Because behind every visa stamp, every tearful airport goodbye, every whispered "I do," there are human beings making messy, complicated, sometimes devastating choices. And sometimes, the loudest drama comes not from what's said, but from what's never spoken at all.